How are we doing, everyone? Please remember to like and follow DNA Golf Instruction on all your social media outlets. And don't forget, DNAGolfInstruction.com is available if you need to set up an indoor appointment, prepare for setting up your appointments this summer, or want to look at what we have for branded apparel and DNA Golf apparel. Please check out the website as well. Today I want to talk real briefly about our takeaway and some of the thoughts that I have that might be different than other instructors. Remember, the whole thing with my philosophy is to keep you as athletic as you possibly can be and for you to feel the same way you did in other sports. When you played football and you went into somebody and went into them hard, you felt athletic doing that. If you boxed or even in a little street fight and you punched someone, you felt athletic doing that. In basketball, certain aspects, you want to feel athletic. And I think that we all have enough intelligence to figure out what feels good to us and not. And that's sort of what we want to talk about today. Okay, so focusing on the takeaway and the death move is what I want to talk about first. And when we talk about our setup and making our first move away from the ball, I always tell people what controls the athletic motion in most ball sports. And it's the lever system. So for us in golf, that's the club, the arms, and the shoulders. Controlling, meaning they should be moving the most out of every part of my body, or at least that's the focus of the feel. If I'm playing basketball, what's moving the most? My lever system is. I'm using my body to get in position, but my lever system moves the most. If I'm throwing, same thing. What's moving the most? My lever is. If I'm kicking, what's moving the most? My foot is. So we really want to make sure that we have a stable start in regards to our body when we start our swing. So a lot of times, if we take our setup and we make our first move and I see this hip work away, ooh, that's the death move. This is the move right here that gets all golfers in trouble. If we get out here and get up here, are we in the same position that we started in? No. So now to hit that golf ball, I have to readjust my body and make an athletic move to make contact with that ball. A lot of times I call that the drunken bar fighter because I always think about a boxer being on point and always kind of stacked and under control. The drunken bar fighter will swing way back and he's not going to hit his target as accurately as the boxer is. So we don't want to be the drunken bar fighter. So anytime I see movement this way, I get real iffy and I'm really trying to make sure that there's no movement there. A lot of times for my students, they'll see this little device, which used to be a mic stand back in my hip hop days. We'll save the jokes for later. But mic stand, old fan base. I use tools that are around the house because obviously as an instructor, I don't have a lot of money to play with. And anything is a training aid, in my opinion. So I'll slide this back a little bit. So this is kind of close to my back hip. I don't want my body to sway, okay, and offset the center of my body because that's going to affect my ability to make contact. Instead, we want that to be solid and we want to feel our lever system moving. Our lever system moving. Okay, you see how that hip isn't moving, okay? Now, this is something where it's allowed. I don't really believe in this, and we'll talk about it here in a moment, but there are some instructors, some that I've had in the past, that sort of teach that movement of this hip weight in this knee a little differently than I do, okay? Remember, the death move is swaying away, so we do not want this to go that way, okay? We have some instructors that as you take the club back, they like for this hip to roll, for your knee to straighten out, and for your weight to get on the heel as you get to the top, okay? Now, our hip didn't move out, and if we have our device there, we probably can see that. So if that's right there, okay, and you'll see this hip kind of collapse and go towards my target, the knee will straighten, and the weight will kind of get into the ball of my foot, okay? Now, the good thing about this is, from this position, I do think you can get to the golf ball well, and there's a lot of principles and ways of getting to that golf ball that work. But my problem and my philosophy tells me that that is not an athletic position, okay? We're not like the drunken bar fighter who moves away, but we really are losing our orientation, our body is losing our orientation to that target. And I got a question for you. Can anyone name another sport where you would make a move like that and your weight would be on your heel and you would be considered athletic? I can't think of one. I always challenge my athletes and my golfers to kind of come up with one. To me, this isn't athletic in any way. If I'm a thrower, okay, he never gets like this before he throws, right? Pitcher on the mound, same thing. They tend to start from a position like this or even loaded, but they're not twisted with their weight on their heel before they go forward. And my last thought on that, and this is my whole point, if this leg straightens out, which we don't see in any other ball sports, if this hip gets way out and my weight is on the heel, I am not athletic at this point in my swing until the weight gets back on the ball of my feet. And there's a lot of room where a lot of bad things can happen and I don't really have control. Now, I say it's okay because a better player, a lower handicap, a plus handicap, some of the guys on tour even, they probably can get away with a movement like that that allows them to create a little more torque. But consistency will become an issue for them. And people like that I even look at on tour that sort of get that weight back. I'm thinking of Genghis and Mike Bender that kind of teach that move, and they have athletes that are on tour or have been in the past. But I look at their consistency. And for me, golf can be about power, but it also could be about consistency, okay? So for me, I don't like the hip going to and our legs kind of change, and we're losing a lot of the structural integrity, the foundation to our lower half by doing that. I would rather you feel your weight either on the ball of your feet a little bit more, the inner part of your foot, but more focusing on your knee remaining somewhat flexed throughout the whole motion. It may move a little bit, but if I can get you to make a move where that knee stays flexed and solid, here I feel you're athletic. Here you're like the guy who's punching, who wouldn't be like this with his butt twisted, right? He would be punching down in an MMA fight. Or if I was throwing a ball down for leverage, I wouldn't want to twist and be all like this. I want to just get leverage and drop right on top of the ball. Same thought, same idea for our golf swing. So a couple of drills you can do to help you stabilize this knee. One I like you to do, take your stance. Right foot goes in line with the golf ball. Left foot goes up on the ball of its feet or its tippy toes if you can do it. And you sit here and you practice making contact hitting golf shots. You don't have to take full swings. You can if you want. But the whole idea is for you to feel what it feels like to get back and through with your lower half being stable. In that position, it's hard for your weight to move around, okay? An easier version of that, which will also help you kind of quiet down your feet, take your setup, bring your feet together, and hit golf balls this way. Once again, your lever system should be more active in that motion, okay? And your lower body is going to be a little more quiet, okay? A third thing to try, and these are all field developers. As an instructor, my job is not to put you into a box or make you do anything that I want you to do. It's to educate you on how to change your motion to feel more athletic and have more control over what you're doing. Put a golf club grip on the outside part of your foot, or 2 golf balls by the ball of the foot and the heel. And practice hitting golf balls from that position. Okay, once again from here, my knee is remaining flexed, it's not going back, and my weight's not getting in my heel. This is going to teach you to make a controlled, have a control point in your backswing where now you can start down and work to your target and start to feel an element of consistency in your motion, okay? So think about how that hip moves on your takeaway. We don't want that. That can't happen. For you all that have been taught to kind of get this way, once again, if you're accurate and you feel comfortable and athletic, go ahead and do it. But I prefer for you to feel some element of flex in that leg as the club works up and through. And let's go ahead and hit one here to wrap up. And I'm going to go ahead and leave my little device here. See if we can see if that hip slides out at all, okay? So from right there, All right. So there might have been some movement, but we kept the flex in that leg, and that should help you with your golf game. Please remember to like, follow us on all your social media outlets, and remember we do have apparel, DNA Golf Instruction branded apparel, and now DNA Golf apparel, streetwear, and golf attire for juniors and adults. So please support, and 10% of your money goes to the Real Chance Initiative. More to come on the Real Chance Initiative. Thanks for watching.